I'm Tyler Austin from Gungnir Strategic. Thank you so much for watching. I'm joined again by my friend Rob over at Dice Show Tactical. He has a YouTube channel, Dice Show Tactical. He's a 20 plus year SWAT guy. He knows what he's talking about. So I'll just let Rob go ahead and introduce himself just in case you don't know who he is. So, Rob, just give a quick rundown on who you are and what you do for everyone watching.
My name is Rob. I'm a 22 and a half year law enforcement officer in a large metropolitan area in the Midwest. I've been a SWAT officer since 2013 and a SWAT trainer for the last couple of years. Currently, I work at the police academy and I'm a firearms instructor. I run the rifle program for our department, so I spend most days on the rifle range just teaching CQB and rifle skills and that sort of thing.
Nice.
So,
This is actually a good segue into at least our previous conversation was. So, something that I want to talk to you about or get your opinion on actually, because I'm interested. I have my own thoughts on it, but um, how do you take someone in terms of CQB in particular? How do you take someone who's a complete novice? So let's just say you get someone who's whatever, he's a former patrol officer or well, he is a patrol officer, but he's coming to SWAT school, all that to get trained up. What do you think is the most effective and efficient way to take someone who is a complete novice in CQB and get them efficiently and effectively to work well within a team?
well, within a team or being effective at CQB, because those are kind of two different things.
Well, in a team within like team CQB. So like,
Um, honestly, Team CQB is really just two man CQB. It really is. We teach them one man first, and then we add that two man. We do a wingman principle. That's what your number two man is generally doing. And we used to teach three man, and I guess we still do. So if you're going to enter a room where there's three of the, first two go in, that third one just hits and holds the threshold and holds the direction of travel.
Yep.
And then when we come back out, that third man becomes the new first man. But real world, that doesn't happen. Real world, there's not three, there's eight.
Yeah.
And one and two go in the room, and then three and four go to the next room, and then five and six go to the next room or whatever.
Yeah.
So that third man thing never happens. So basically, if they have a good working understanding of how to do one man CQB, which is, I'm not going to say all CQB is one man CQB, but those are the most important skills. You got to have good one man CQB skills.
Yeah.
And then everybody needs to learn how to do a good wingman.
Yeah.
And if you know how to be a good wingman and you know how to do a good, lead man, that's 98% of it. All the other little nuance, it all ends up being two people doing this room, two people doing this room. Yeah. It ends up being two man CQB.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically, it's very similar to my thoughts because to me, I get quite a bit of heat on this, but I will die on this hill. Solo CQB is the foundation to Team CQB.
I'd agree with that.
And even just on the basis of like teaching somebody, like even if you believe even if you're a guy who believes that solo CQB is just completely ridiculous, everything's team based, whatever. Like even just from a teaching standpoint, because CQB, relatively speaking to other things, is complicated, relatively. Um, so there's a lot of individual skills that go into it, whether that's footwork, working doors, slicing out angles. Right, there's a lot of individual skill sets that go into it, and a lot of schools, classes, whatever, they just take people like whatever you're just attending a school, let's just say, or a class, and you're a guy who's never done CQB ever in his life, and they just throw you into a four-man team. You've complicated things significantly for that person, and in my opinion, you retard the learning curve. Because not only is this guy trying to learn all the individual skills and all the individual principles for CQB, but now he's trying to learn all those within the context of team. Now he's having to work with everybody else who is also trying to do all this, and because you just complicate the situation significantly when you could take that person, teach him all the individual skills. Right, there's a lot of them, so I won't list them here, but all the general stuff he needs to learn. Right, if he knows how to slice out a room, right, knows how to work the door, all that stuff. Okay, once he gets fairly competent at that, now adding another person to that in a two-man capacity. Now it's a lot simpler because now he's already got all those individual skills. At least he's fairly competent in those individual skills and he knows them. Now it's like, okay, now I'm not trying to learn all this while working with somebody else. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think you're right. If your individual CQB skills are great, you're going to transition well to team. If your individual skills are so-so, you're going to struggle.
Yeah.
Those really have to be squared away first, especially in a limited penetration CQB context or deliberate, whatever you want to call it, where you're really working those thresholds. I know you can split doors, and that's a thing, but realistically, you don't split a lot of doors real world, not in a residential context.
Yeah, residential is hard.
Right. The lead person is essentially doing a solo clear while the wingman with them, the number 2, is got long cover. Yeah. And is essentially watching exposures and then looking at things that person's already cleared. But essentially they just hold long cover. So it's all essentially solo CQB. And then you make interim, one guy goes here, one guy goes there. More dynamic clearing, it's a bigger leap because there's a little more footwork and movement involved, a little more team movements involved. But that's really old school stuff that is really kind of going away. Hostage rescue, okay, yeah, team movements are a little more particular because you're going to be splitting a lot more doors and everything's a lot faster. But a lot of the stuff, I know you're focused on CQB, but CQB is kind of one of the easier team activities that we do on the SWAT side. Stuff like, hey, we're going to bring a ladder team up to this window and a breach team, and then we're going to put some guns in it. Yeah. We're talking minimum 4 dudes with different equipment trying to make that happen. Yeah. All wearing armor in an environment where, we get there and now there's some bushes here, or what, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's variable.
Sometimes the hardest part about this context, CQB, and the most dangerous part too, is primary breach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and breaching is an art. I mean, that's a whole. They have breaching schools. I'm not a breacher. I love my guys that are breachers. They're amazing. Yeah. And into that context of those 4 guys breaching that window, we got your 5th guy's going to throw a flashbang over here. This guy's going to cover long over here, and then another guy's going to throw a flashbang over here or whatever. So that's kind of the more difficult team movements, and then you got to account for the radio delay and all sorts of other bullshit. Yeah. I mean that gets complicated. Just tactical rappelling. For every 1 guy going down the rope, you basically got 3 people up top. You got a tender, you got a belay, and you got a command element, and they're handling equipment, depending on what you're doing. You see the 1 guy on the rope, but what you don't see is all the team stuff up top.
Yeah. All the support personnel essentially in command.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than people realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's. I mean, just trying to get, let's say, 10 to 12 dudes in armor, grown ass guys who lift a lot of weights, through a door, in a somewhat efficient manner where they all have different equipment and they're all trying to get to the same place. When people watch a video of that, it's not sexy. It doesn't look sexy. It looks like a bunch of lumbering idiots, to be honest, like furniture movers. But I mean, we get it done. Yeah. People watch videos and they post videos online of the SWAT team doing whatever, and they're all all the armchair quarterbacks jump in there and how they would do it and how amazing they are. And I watch them, I'm like, no, that looks real. Yeah, that's real shit. That's what it looks like.
I was about to say, you see that video and just go through the comments and chuckle.
Yeah, it's people think it real world looks sexy like a TV show or a movie. It doesn't.
If I was in that room, if I was in that building, I would have shot them all through the wall.
Yeah.
All right, guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're watching a movie, but these are real guys doing their real 9 to 5.
Yeah.
This is what they do for a living.
We've done thousands of high-risk warrants, and somehow haven't been shot through a wall yet. It's shocking.
Yeah, for as common as that is, it never seems to really happen. I'm not saying it never happens, but statistically, it's extremely rare.
And when it does happen, typically it's by mistake. The guy meant to shoot you through the door, and he just sucks. And missed you and
I mean,
hit the wall. And
cops get shot through doors, and cops
yeah,
get shot at doors, and cops get shot in bedrooms,
yeah,
inside rooms. Okay, but they don't almost never get shot through walls.
yeah.